legislative, executive and judiciary. These are the main parts of our constitution, and we notice that judiciary is totally the separate part. Yes, separate part without any interference by the side of the legislature, by the side of the executive members. Yes, Bindu Chaudhary is with you in your social science class. Today we are covering our unit 3rd, the judiciary, and in this one we are covering chapter 6. Chapter 6, understanding our criminal justice system. And in this one today we are covering part 3rd. But before covering part 3rd, FIR, role of public prosecutor, first of all we just notice our previous parts also, because in that one we studied about the story of Shanti, servant Shanti, Mr. and Mrs. Shinde and SI Mr. Rao, and Shanti's brother Sushil also. And on that time we noticed that 10,000 was the saving of Shanti and her brother. But what happened on that time? Due to some misunderstandings, Mrs. Shinde and Mr. Shinde called to police, and they told to police that one of the gold chain of Mrs. Shinde was stolen by our servant Shanti, and that's why Mr. Rao had taken Shanti to the police station and rupees 10,000 also as a witness evidence of that one, and he sealed, Mr. Rao sealed that one also. So with that circumstances, on that time we studied that FIR lodged by the side, and one that is the role of public prosecutor. So today we are continuing our part 3rd with this one. See, what is the full form of FIR? First information report. Yes, first information report is the full form of FIR. And what is the meaning of this one? First of all, we have a question in our mind. What do you understand by the term FIR? So it's a clear-cut position that it is with the registration of an FIR that the police can begin their investigations into a crime. If any crime happened and on that time police want to start investigations, so first of all what is needed? Registration of FIR is needed. See, this one is the picture and this one is the format of FIR, and with this FIR every informations are there. Of police? No, not of police, student. All the information of the arrested people. So what is there in FIR? First of all we will point out on this one. The FIR usually mentions the date, time and place of the offence. Next one is what? Details the basic facts of the offence, and this one it including a description of the events also. So in FIR the concept is totally clear in your mind, students, about the FIR, that what is mentioned in the FIR. First of all, date, time and place of the offence. Yes, which place had that one, and details the basic facts of the offence. It means what is the incident took place and what is the real crime taken place on that time, including the description of the events. Events, it means what were going on that time. Everything is mentioned in FIR. If known, the identity of the accused persons and witnesses is also mentioned. So as we studied in the case of Mr. and Mrs. Shinde, they totally named the accused person. Who was the accused person on that time? Shanti Abraham, servant of Mr. and Mrs. Shinde, was the accused person, and they given them the identity. Given them, it means given to police the identity of Shanti Abraham, and all the witnesses is also mentioned in that one. So the FIR also states the name and address of the complainant. So this is the clear concept about what क्लियर कंसेप्ट अबाउट FIR। और अब बच्चों आप FIR से समझ भी गए होंगे कि FIR एक ऐसा इम्पॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट होता है जिसमें सारी इंफॉर्मेशन एक्यूज्ड की लिखी हुई होती है। प्लस हम क्या देखते हैं कि इसके अंदर आइडेंटिफाई अगर पर्सन है तो आइडेंटिफाइड पर्सन का नाम भी लिखा हुआ होगा और उनका एड्रेस भी लिखा हुआ होगा विद द विटनेसेस। एज हमने जो स्टोरी अभी कवरअप की थी अपने प्रीवियस पार्ट में, उसका हिंट लेते हुए हम इनको समझा भी रहे हैं आपको। The law states that it is compulsory for an officer in charge of a police station to register an FIR whenever a person gives information about a cognizable offense। cognizable it means बहुत ही ज़्यादा गंभीर अपराध हुआ है, संज्ञेय अपराध हुआ है। So what law mentions? Law states that the officer in charge of a police station, first of all, what he or she do? Register an FIR, because this is the first important thing. Okay, so whenever a person gives information about a cognizable offense, it is the police officer's duty to register an FIR. One more thing here, what is the role of the public prosecutor? Yes, we discussed the case, the story of Shanti Hemram, and in that case we studied that Shanti and her brother Sushil had not a single rupee with them for the appointment of the lawyer. And on that time what happened? Shanti Hemram told to the judge that I had no public prosecutor, I had no lawyer, I had no money to pay them. And on that time what's the duty of the judge? Judge appoint public prosecutor. So what is this public prosecutor? Who is this one? First of all we will study this one. Who is public prosecutor? See, she is the lawyer who represents the witness of the state. When we consider about the witness of the state, when we consider about the who represents the witness of the state, it means public prosecutor is appointed by whom? Is appointed by the judge of that court, and he or she represents the witness of the state. For example, when we are discussing state versus Lakshman Kumar case, yes, we studied about this one also, and other state versus Shanti Hemram case. We are not pointing out about Mr. and Mrs. Sinde. Yes, we are pointing about other state versus Shanti Hemram, and in this case Shanti Hemram gets a public prosecutor from judge, okay, from the court side. When we are discussing about judge, again a question arising in your mind, students, who is this judge? So we have an answer of this one also. Who is judge? He, she is the presidency officer in the court judgment regarding the case. So who is the judge? Judge is the presidency officer in the court who judge, who gives judgment regarding the case going on in the court. Okay, so the role of the judge is also clear. Who is judge also clear. Who is the public prosecutor and who appoints public prosecutor, everything is clear in your mind. We have next question, what is the role of the judge? So this one is the important thing. What is the role? When we explain that who is judge, then this is important, that what is the role of the judge. See, in this case, just in previous part also we noticed this incident that so tell me Mrs. Shinde, how did the gold chain go missing? Who told all these things? This lawyer told. And see, I had kept my chain in the drawer, Shanti stole it. And Mrs. Shinde argued about this one, that that is my chain, so I had taken that chain in the drawer, and only Shanti Hemram was there who had stole it. So no other outsider except Shanti goes into my room. Mr. Shinde searched her trunk in front of me, and on that time what Mrs. Shinde told to the court that we were shocked to find rupees 10,000 in an envelope. Shanti got this money from selling my gold chain. So Mrs. Shinde argued that she is a thief. It's okay. All the conditions were against to Shanti Hambram. But what the role of the judge here? See, the judge is like an umpire in a game and conducts the trial. See, conducts the trial impartially and in an open court. So what is this one, open court, and what is this trial? This is also the important term here we are using. So we will explain. The judge hears all the witnesses and any other evidence presented by the prosecution and the defense. So what's the role of the judge? The judge hears all the witnesses and any other evidences also which is presented by the prosecution as well as by the defense also. When we are considering about trial and open court, in this case, in the case of Shanti Hambram and other state case, we notice that all the trials are fair trials and everything is an ओपन कोर्ट. इट मीन्स कि जब हम कहते हैं कि वहाँ पे शांति हमब्रम खुद थी, उनके ब्रदर भी आते रहते थे, और सबसे बड़ी बात क्या थी बच्चों, यहाँ पे था सबसे बड़ा रोल कि शांति हमब्रम को हर चीज़ की एक फ़ोटोकॉपी ज़रूर दी जाती थी. सो एवरीथिंग इज़ कंसिडर्ड बाय शांति हमब्रम आल्सो एंड एवरीथिंग इज़ फेयर एंड ट्रायल एंड इन एन ओपन कोर्ट. So the judge decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent. Yes, in the first part of this chapter we discussed that who decides. Police decide that the accused person is guilty or innocent. No, on that time we notice that no, it's not the duty of the police to decide that the accused person is guilty or innocent. It's the duty of whom? It's the duty of the judge who decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent on the basis of some basis are there. Without any basis, judge didn't consider any case. So on the basis of the evidences presented and in accordance with the law. So of the evidence presented is the main thing. Judge had taken decision on the basis of the evidences, on the basis of the proof, on the basis of the witnesses and on the basis of the fair trial also. So if the accused is convicted, then the judge pronounces the sentence. This is the main role of the judge. If any accused is convicted, and only on that time what's the role of the judge? On that time judge pronounces the sentence to him or her. When we are saying this one, then again the question arises, what? Yes, what? It means he may send the person to jail or impose a fine, or sometimes or both, depending on what the law prescribes related to these types of cases. When we are considering judge, so this one is the picture of one of the judge, and we notice that everything going on with the court is fair and in an open court, as the case discussed in this story, yes, this chapter, Shanti Hambram versus other state. And when we notice this one, then judge is the person who sent the person to jail, or sometimes to the impose a fine, or sometimes both conditions. Both condition, it means jail as well as fine, and all these depends upon the what the law prescribed related to these types of cases. One more thing, what is a fair trial? We again and again using this term fair trial. So what is this fair trial? We will explain you. First of the thing mentioned that in the case of Shanti Hambram, this is a fair trial case, and all the incident occurs in the court is in an open court. It means everyone had to participate in that one. So what's this one? See, imagine a situation where Shanti's case was prosecuted in very different way. When we considered the case of Shanti, in this one all the situations were against to whom? All the situations were against to Shanti Hembram, and in that one we just say that prosecuted in very different way. So what if the court did not give a copy of the charge sheets and statements of the witnesses to Shanti? As we notice that all the court, as the case of the Shanti Hembram, court give a copy to the charge sheet of the statement of witnesses to whom? To Shanti. Why? Because of her knowledge that everything is fine and fair related to her case, and in this one, this is the real procedure of the court of fair trial. And if fair trial is there, then what if judge held the trial in a secret location where neither Shanti nor Sushil were present? It means this one is the unfair trial. स्टूडेंट्स आप समझ रहे होंगे यहाँ पे फेयर ट्रायल और अनफेयर ट्रायल. फेयर ट्रायल जहाँ पे विटनेस की कॉपी, चार्जशीट की कॉपी किसको दी जा रही है? शांति हेम्ब्रम को दी जा रही है. किसके द्वारा दी जा रही है? कोर्ट के द्वारा दी जा रही है. अगर ऐसा होता कि शांति को या उनके ब्रदर सुशील को वहाँ कोर्ट में प्रेजेंट ही नहीं किया जाता और डिसीजन दिया जाता, तो क्या वह फेयर ट्रायल होता बच्चों? नॉट एट ऑल, because what it he did not give Shanti lawyer. One more question, we noticed that advocates such as Mrs. Shinde and Institute had already decided that Shanti was guilty. One more thing, that court had given a public prosecutor to Shanti Hembram, and in this one, this is also the fair trial. Okay, so in this fair trial, what happened if he did not, it means the judge did not give Shanti's lawyer, public prosecutor, as Mrs. Shinde and her advocate already decided that Shanti was guilty. But these are not the persons who blamed that Shanti was guilty or not. It is the duty of whom? It is the duty of the judge who decides that the whether accused is guilty or not. So clear cut case of unfair trial. And if all these things happen, शांति को लॉयर नहीं दिया जाता, शांति को कोर्ट में, शांति और उनके ब्रदर सुशील को कोर्ट में प्रेजेंट नहीं किया जाता, और मिसेस शिंदे के कहे अनुसार जो एडवोकेट है उन्होंने क्या कर दिया था? उन्होंने तो शांति को एक्यूज ही क्लेम कर दिया था. सो when we are considering about all these statements, then clear cut case of unfair trial is this. So then what is a fair trial? Then when we are considering about all these are in the terms of unfair trials, then we have again a question arises here. Then what is a fair trial as per this case, as per the case of other states versus Shanti Hembram? We notice that what is a free trial related to this story. For a free trial to be fair, several different procedures have to be observed, and all these things are mentioned in our constitution. Constitution, it means article 21 describes right to life to every citizen of India. And when we are considering about article 21, right to life, then it is necessary to explain this one, but we already discussed all these things in our chapter. First also, it states that a person's life or liberty can be taken. What's article 21? Right to life explains, it explains that a person's life or liberty can be taken away only by following a reasonable and just legal procedure. कोई भी काम है वो लीगल प्रोसीजर के ही थ्रू होना चाहिए, एक रीजनेबल मैटर को साथ लेते हुए ही चलना चाहिए. सी, essence of a fair trial. What is the essence? She is whom? She is Shanti Hembram, and all the cases are going on in the court with her and her brother Sushil. When we are considering about Shanti, did Shanti get a fair trial in her case? Yes, she got a fair trial in her case. How she got? See, Shanti was given a copy. First of all, first point is this one. Shanti was given a copy of the charge sheet and all other evidence that the prosecution presented against her. So, this is a fair trial. Why this is a fair trial? Because first of all, Shanti was given a copy of the charge sheets and all other evidences also related to her case. Next one is what? Shanti was charged with the offense of theft that was defined as a crime in the law. Why Shanti was charged? Because of the reason behind it. Shanti was charged with the offense of what? With the offense of theft, and this one was defined as a crime in the law. And when we are considering about our second point, the trial was held in an open court. So these are some examples of fair trials. First of all, copy of charge sheet and evidences, and next one is what? The trial was held in an open court. Open court, it means in public view. Her brother, it means Shanti's brother Sushil, could attend the court hearings because this is a fair trial and open court allowed the accused family members also. Next is what? The trial was held in the presence of the accused. वहाँ पे शांति जो हैं, शांति हेम्ब्रम जो हैं, वो स्वयं भी एनी टाइम मौजूद रहती हैं. तो ये सब कहाँ पे प्रोसीजर में आ रहा है? ऑल दिस प्रोसीजर एज अ फेयर ट्रायल. Next is important. Shanti was defended by a lawyer and she had no single rupee with her for paying the lawyer. Then what's happened? See, Shanti's lawyer, Advocate Roy, was given an opportunity to cross-examine all the prosecution witnesses. It means who had allotted lawyer to Shanti? Judge had given this opportunity to Roy, Advocate Roy, that he or she discuss the case of Shanti in the court. Advocate Roy was given an opportunity to present witnesses in Shanti's defense. So all these things happened with the case of the Shanti, and in Shanti's defense, who is coming? Advocate Roy is there. When we are summarizing, this is the full chapter reading of this judiciary portion, and when we are summarizing our chapter, we are coming to the main points. For a fair trial or for a trial to be fair, different persons have different role to play. First of all, role of judge we had clearly mentioned to you. And next what we mentioned? Role of public prosecutor. Public prosecutor was appointed by whom? Was appointed by judge for the case of the Shanti Hembram. So we notice that role of the judge is fair, and in this case role of the public prosecutor who defends by the side of the Shanti accused. And next is role of defense lawyer. This is also important because all the incidents took place in an open court and all these things happened. We notice the important role of S.I. Rao. It means role of police is also important here. And when we notice the role of police, then we notice that every incident and every witness, every proof sealed by S.I. Rao, and all were presented in court also. So they all need to work to ensure that every citizen, irrespective of their class, of their caste, of their gender, of religious and ideological backgrounds get a fair trial when accused. So, when we are summarizing this chapter, the concepts are totally clear in your mind, students, and hope that you all know the process of criminal judiciary system very well. So, in next part, we will take our question answer session. Stay with us. Have a nice day.